Bless those gathered together this evening and guide us as we review and make decisions that reflect the needs and desires of the residents of Mountain View. Watch over us as we travel to our homes. Help us to make Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call vote.
Harry.
Here.
Orchard.
Here.
Wallander.
Here.
McAdams.
Here.
Before we move on to our agenda, we had a couple issues that we needed to add to the agenda with the council's approval. One is, it's that time of the year when it's that I thought I was loud, didn't I? But apparently not. Thank you. There we go. Okay. An issue that seems to come up every once in a while, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Okay, is the tax levy. It's that time of year. It is an even numbered year, so this is a year that we can look at that and change it. So we need to add some discussion of that to the agenda. If I could have a motion for that.
That'll be under CDBG.
So we're going to add it to the agenda as item number 4. Okay, moving on, we will go with the agenda that we have. We'll begin with old business, which is the skid steer bid. Oh, sorry. I need a motion to approve the agenda as it was printed.
With the addition of the tax levy.
With the addition of the tax levy.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Roll call vote.
Harry.
Aye.
Orchard.
Aye.
Wallander.
Aye.
McAdams.
Aye.
Okay, we'll move on to the old business. As most of you are probably aware, there were some questions about the skid steer bids. We did put it out for a bid once again, and at 10:30 today, Terry and I opened the bids that were received. There was one that came in prior to the deadline that we did not see when we checked. So she has made a copy of it and given it to the Alderman tonight for inclusion in the bids. I believe you all have a tally sheet and all of the bids, if you'd like to look those over. clarification, while they're looking this over, we did have a total of 19 different options presented. Those were all copied by the clerk and distributed to the alderman so that they could at least get a look at them before tonight, because it is quite lengthy. It involves both new and used skid steer as requested by the alderman.
On number 12, that should be
Which one, number 12? We do have the representative of Murphy Tractor here with us, if you guys should want to ask him any questions.
financial statement. I would like to bring up our 6-month financial statement. And with us going through a financial advisor helping us with the books, I don't think right now is the right time to spend this kind of money on a new piece of equipment.
Is that the new
It's the update.
clarified one?
Yes. But we also have the wastewater payment coming up, which I can't remember how much it was in the information that I got, but I know that's a payment that we were not planning on.
I have one question about the 6-month financial statement. We had a meeting 2 months prior to that. Nobody had said a word about being in the hole about anything.
That I had not finished the financial statement at that point. That's part of my job I do every year. I gather the information, I take it off the budget, and I put it on that statement. It wasn't finished. I finished it right before I published it.
Can you tell me what was added from in them 2 days to put us $1 million in the hole?
Statement hadn't been done. Can't tell you what was added. Nothing was added. This is something that takes about a month of working on. I start working on it the day June closes. Pulling the budget reports, adding things up.
I would like to add on to that too. You get these every 6 months. I know that Mr. Toby is new and he's gotta figure out what we do and what we don't do, and sometimes we're in the dark. But these do come out every 6 months. We have gotten these every 6 months. And when you look at it, there's an awful lot of payments we're already paying out. And it also coincides with our bank cash reports, because I've been looking at those too. And they are improving, because when they started out, we was really, really far in the hole, and now it's getting better as things are getting fixed. But until it's fixed, I'm scared that if this is all it's showing that we have, plus what we have in the bank, which the August bills are coming up, which exceed over 700,000. So that does not leave us much money. And right now, I'm like Gail, it bothers me, because I wanna know what we got. When we get these books caught up and it's done, and we know what we got, then let's do whatever it takes to get equipment. That is not the problem. The problem is, we don't want to get ourselves in a worse situation that we're already in. And that's just my opinion on it.
I was told whenever we was elected that we had $1 million in the bank.
We do. We get it every month from our taxes and stuff, but also it goes out for bills every month also. We do not have an extra $1 million. If you look at these payments and these papers and everything, we get that from our tax levies.
Yeah, and we just got them a couple weeks ago.
Yes, and we're coming up on our August too. If you look, we get, let me find it. If you will look at this paper here, it estimates about what we get a year. Okay, by the end of the year, that's about what we're gonna get. We still have 5 months. And by the time we get that, that's gonna be approximately 2.5 million, but we've got 3.5 million in bills, if you add up all these payments we're paying. So that's why until we know for 100% sure on the books,
Is that before we're reimbursed on some grants?
depending
You're
on the,
saying or that
no, this is our taxes that helps pay the bills each month. If we do not receive these taxes, then we can't pay the bills. And this is what our bills is mostly based off of.
Which is an average of last year. Like, there's no guarantees, because it all depends on how much people spend and we can collect. And with the way the economy is, there's no guarantee that we're gonna get that amount. And like right now, just for June, you're looking at $550,000 worth of bills just for the first page of the budget report, coming out of money coming in.
2025, we got $327,000 in transportation tax. We're at 138 as of now. by the time it comes, we're gonna have 200,000 more. That's not gonna pay the bills when they're almost 800,000 a month. That's a lot of money to have to spend for our bills, but that's payroll and everything else. Are we gonna cut workers? We can't afford to do that. We can't afford to cut our workers. We have to have them.
I have a question about the financial statement also. In the past, is that shared with the mayor and the board prior to being published? Or
No.
was that just this time?
No, Sherry used to prepare it, and the last 6 months, last year in June, she gave it to me to do.
Okay. But when you did it, did you share that with her prior to putting it out?
No,
It's a state statute that has to be turned in.
yeah, the numbers are the
I
numbers.
understand that it's a state statute and that it has to be published at certain times. I just feel that that information should be shared with the council and the mayor prior to it hitting the public on Facebook and all the calls and comments that came in as a result of it. And we were not aware of the bottom line on it. However, a couple of days later, when the financial people that we hired came in, it took her about 5 minutes to see where the discrepancy was and to correct it, which showed a totally different view of where we are financially.
No, I knew where the discrepancy was. The loan that we've taken out was down at the bottom in the indebtedness, but my template for this did not have a place to put that up at the top. So I asked her, where should I put it? I put it where I knew it needed to be. There wasn't any place to put it up here, and she said there should have been another line.
And you and I had discussed that prior to her getting here. Has those loans not been reflected in the ones previously?
I have no idea. I don't know if we've even had any loans like this come in. This is $1 million loan.
Right.
That's a lot larger than any other loan we've had since I've been here. I've been here for a whole year.
And when did we start getting this one?
We started getting it very end of last year. I think we got a payment of like 300,000 in December. The rest of it's all this year. You can tell there's the $1,271,000. 1 million, yeah, so there's 30,000 that we received last year.
So
And we
altogether,
do have on this loan that we've gotten, the payments on it, we have a $19,367.40 payment due in July. We have a $76,574.90 payment due January 1st.
What was the July payment?
July is $19,367.40.
okay, my question is, what does this financial advisor advise us?
Right now, she's just looking to get the beginning numbers of our books correct. The funds, that cash report that shows the funds, those numbers are not right in June of 2022. So she's looking at getting those straight so we know where to build from.
How long did we, they stated it would take to get our books done? I think it
Her
was like 2 or
contract is
3
for about
months.
3 months, is it?
No,
They started with the 3 months, with a renewal if needed. She's been working on them less than a week.
Yeah.
So,
And I understand they need this equipment. Again, I'm another one that says they need equipment. I come in here with the notion of getting pavers and trucks and stuff like that when I come into office. But when I'm just scared if we do not wait just a few more months until we get this seen about, what if we do something we're gonna regret? Because it's gonna fall back on all of our taxpayers. And it's gonna fall back on every one of us because we agreed to do it. All I ask is just please let's get our financials where we know they're at, and then if we have it, buy it. Buy them 2, buy them 3, I don't care. I just don't feel comfortable right now with this like this. I mean, it'd be like me handing my checkbook out there to somebody and say, "Psh, go buy you a new car. By the way, I don't have it caught up, but you'll get to drive for a few days." I don't want this to come back and bite us later on. That's my only fear. You know what, you can pick out the most expensive thing there is on this list, and I have no problem with it. They deserve it every day, and they need it. And our equipment is wore out, and we do need equipment. But by George, let's see what we have in the bank first before we start spending, because I don't want it to get us in trouble, and I don't want our town to go bankrupt. That is the biggest fear, and we do not know where these books set until they're done. All it is gonna be is just another couple of months. And that's it. And then once that's done, then we can buy them one. But that's up to you guys. That's just my opinion on it. I wouldn't spend money that I didn't know I didn't have, and I'm not gonna spend the taxpayers' money not knowing what we don't have. That's my only problem.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks. My name's Jeff. I'm with Murphy Tractor. I'm one of the 19 bids that you got, and it's a lot to wade through. Actually, I'm 2 of them because there's a new and a used. But in hearing you guys talk, I just wanted to mention something that maybe you weren't aware of. As a governmental entity, the city can do what's called a municipal lease. This is how the county buys motor graders. This is how the townships in Texas County buy equipment, used and new. It's called a municipal lease, and when people hear the word lease, they kind of have a preset notion of what that is. It is simply a lease in name. It is not an operating lease in which there are stipulations on usage and conditions and so forth, and then you turn it back in like you may or may not have done with a vehicle, a pickup, whatever. A municipal lease for equipment is a way for a governmental agency to take a dollar figure and split that up over 3, 4, 5, 6, they'll even go all the way out to 10 years. And by they, I mean John Deere Financial. But anyway, on average, it's 5 to 6 years on, say, a backhoe or a skid steer. At the end of that term, when you make your, let's just say for argument, 5th annual payment on that equipment, in about a month, you get a bill for $1, and that is the buyout of the lease. Then you own that piece of equipment free and clear, just like if you had wrote a check for it in the very beginning. The reason I bring this up is the municipal leases have 2 different options. You can either choose to do what's called an advance, which means you make your first annual payment when you take delivery of the equipment. Or you can do what's called an arrears payment, where you don't even have a payment on that equipment until after the first year, or at the end of the first year. So it's a way when there's a need for an equipment, it's a way that you can get the guys and gals the equipment they need, and then be able to have that in next year's budget, right? And plan ahead and say, okay, we know that in August of 27, we are gonna have our first lease payment on that skid steer. So you can plan ahead for it. Now I was not asked about that, just hearing you guys discuss, I felt like I needed to probably bring that up as an option. It does not change my bid amount, purchase price on either one of those machines. Of course, with anything, you know, obviously there's interest involved with a loan or a lease, but it would not change the purchase price of the machine.
But what would the payments be?
Depends on how many years you want to do it for.
So,
Right.
but my problem is we got $1.4 million in loans now that we owe on.
Yeah.
And until we know for sure we got the money, that is a great option. That would be awesome. if we didn't have a payment till the first of the year. But we also have a $70,000 payment coming out the first of the year. It's kind of hard right now. I mean,
Well, it would be 12 months after delivery of the machine. If you wanted the arrears on.
right.
It's a little cheaper to do it in advance because you pay it off a year earlier and you have less interest accrued, but.
But what would happen if we did an advanced one and come to find out we don't have the money? Are you gonna take it back without charge?
Well, I mean, it would be the same thing if you didn't make a payment on your truck,
Exactly.
you know, it would be
Exactly.
repossessed.
And I'd like to point out that the bid packet that was put out, that lease information was also included in the bid packet. And we do have some, bids that include leases. Also, we recently paid off a piece of equipment, so we have some money that had been allocated for the rest of the year that is now free. We also have over $17,000 that we got from our insurance company to make a down payment. And, I believe there was another note, $10,000 that we've also paid off now.
Those were not included in the budget. When the budget was figured out, they knew they were gonna pay it for this long and then it was gonna be paid off, so that money is not in the budget.
Yeah, so, not trying to sway your decision-making, just want you to know options, as far as municipal lease. It's a very, very common and popular way for governmentals to buy equipment.
Does that fall under the Sourcewell program?
Yeah, so Sourcewell, and I've noted that on my quote for the new machine. Sourcewell applies on new equipment, not on used, but, I mean, you've covered your basis on used too, because you put it out for public bid, just like the Sourcewell is out in this public knowledge, so. But anyway, it's just a way that, governmentals can get a piece of equipment and kind of plan and budget that and work that in. To try to answer your question a little bit better, for example, my new machine I bid was, I believe it is $76,500 was the purchase price. So if we were just do rough numbers, let's say you wanted to put that on a 5-year term on a municipal lease, just take that dollar figure and split it up into 5 even payments. Obviously, there's a little interest on top of that. I think the municipal lease rates currently are running somewhere in the 5s right now, somewhere in that neighborhood. So that'd give you a rough idea of what an annual payment on that would be. But again, I've had governmentals do it for 2 to 3 years, just because they needed to break it up a little bit. And then I've had some townships in Texas County that have a very, very a large challenge with budget, and we did a 7-year lease on a tractor and brush mower for one of the townships. So there's a lot of different options there on timing. And on brand new, they will go out as far as 10 years on an operating lease. I don't really recommend that. On smaller equipment, like a skid steer, that to me is a bit long to go, because, you're probably about ready to trade that into and update that into a new machine by the time you get to that, period. But 5 years is 5 to 6 years is a good average. So, I just wanted to give you that.
Thank
info
you.
there.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mayor, if I may,
Go ahead.
okay, what is our total budget? What did we have budgeted this year?
8 million something, I don't have the figure with me, I don't.
Okay, about 8 million. Okay, as of the end of June, and I'm looking at this financial statement, the total receipts are just like, what is that, $8,000 less than $5 million. So if you multiply that times 2, that's $10 million for the year. Okay, we're going to receive more money in for gas tax, we know that, because everything's going up. When you look, this indebtedness, it reflects the wastewater collection system. Okay, we were supposed to be putting between 10,000 and some, I don't know, for the last year away in the bank. in an account to be able to pay that when it came due, but that's not occurred. Okay? The only thing that I see on here, admin has increased by $140,000 in 6 months, because your total receipts are $690 and your total disbursements are $830,000, as well as your electric is a little bit higher, but we had the deal over there by the trailer park. It cost a gob of money to get it fixed. Everything else, from what I can see right here on this 6-month financial statement, if it holds true, we should not be increasing the total disbursements or the indebtedness, because that's it, the sewer system. But if at the end of the year, if it holds true to what we're doing right here, that means by the end of the year, there'll be $10 million budget instead of an $8 million budget.
So that means we'll be $2 million over budget.
No, if you look at the very top where it says total receipt, it's $4,992,000. I'm sitting here looking at it right here. Okay, there it goes down at the bottom, total disbursement is $5,915,000, but that reflects the UMB wastewater collection system. If you take that away from that 5 million,
But also, if you look at the 6-month thing here, there's a lot of departments that's already over their budget.
well, that's what I'm saying is when you look,
And they're like way over their budget.
who would that be?
Well, for one, it shows right here that electric is, sewer and wastewater's over
Sewer and wastewater, they brought in
1.9,
almost $2 million.
and they're at 1.9
That
million in
reflects
receipts.
that $1 million loan. If it keeps on, like I said, like we are, we will end up at the end of the year with more, closer to a 10 million budget.
But it
But
also.
I really don't believe that indebtedness is disbursements, and the indebtedness is not going to move. And in fact, right now, the PNC equipment finance for Groundsmaster 1200 is, we're talking $2,100, and that one will be paid for. You've got the public finance golf carts, 27,000. And I must admit, I was at the meetings to hear that, and nobody wanted to do that, but they did. And now they're being rented out almost every weekend, and they're actually making quite a little bit of money for the golf course, because we have good golf carts, and they're well taken care of. Okay? The sanitation dump truck, well, I mean, you gotta have a dump truck, that's all there is to it. I mean, a trash truck.
That's the new one too, and we still owe 55 on it.
Well, I
And that's
mean,
the brand new one, and we're needing
just putting
another one.
another motor in another one, so that means there'll be 3 online instead of just 1. I personally, I mean, I'm looking at this and I see, but I also see that we're going to spend 2 months beating around something that we could probably just go ahead and get done. And I don't think it's gonna make much of a difference in our budget all the way around to the very end of the year. But like I said, for some reason, we're $140,000 increase in admin, and I don't know where that's at, but anyway, it says personal operation and maintenance. And I do realize that our financial people,
So on the disbursements, you're at 5.9 million.
Yeah.
Until the end of June.
Yeah.
And we've received to the end of June 4.9.
and when I said, if you will look, wastewater collection system bond, wastewater collection system bond liability,
Is on there, yes, I get that.
yeah,
Which will
okay,
cover
so it's
that.
$1 million off of there.
Right, so we're breaking even is what it would amount to. So that
And
still
that's what
doesn't
we're
mean that
supposed to do.
we have the money in there.
But like I said, that's not gonna go up.
It's projected revenue, it's projected
No, no.
expenses.
That's not gonna go up. on the wastewater collection system, because that's what it is for this year. Okay, but what we have seen increase is the total receipts to almost $5 million. So if you wanna go by that, that means come the end of the year, we're gonna be closer to $10 million budget than than $8 million. That's the numbers that I see.
This is only the first 6 months that wastewater loan is continuing to grow. We continue to get more debt every time I pay the contractor.
And how much of that is coming in from the state of Missouri, and how much of that is being paid by the city of Mountain View?
Part of it goes to the loan, part of it is grants.
Yeah, and I know, but what I said was, okay, you're making the payments to them, but the state of Missouri is also giving us, what, $3.5–4 million, and it comes in slowly but surely, and we do the same, and so it's added together every month for what we pay, and at some point in time, the state of Missouri's money is gonna overrun our money that, because they're going to come pay around and pay the loan. And at some point in time, we're going to be spending the next 20 years paying for the sewer system. It's already a set up, that's everything that we pay every month.
On the amortization, it shows that the top of that loan is gonna be $2,483.
You're exactly right.
And right now, that loan is only $1,200,000.
You're right.
So we've got
The
half of it still to go.
$2,800,000 is the total amount that we are going to pay over the next 20 years. Not what we have to pay this year, that's over the next 20 years. What the state of Missouri will give us by the end of the year will amount to about $3.5 million total for last year and this year when KJAX gets done with that. We have already have that built into the budget of the next 20 years. I don't have those paperwork with me, but that whole deal was set out when we did the deal for the sewer system.
The Horner and Schiffner.
Yeah, it shows you right on there exactly how much we pay every month for the next 20 years.
That we're supposed to increase the sewer every.
We already have increased the sewer, and we did that a year ago,
You're supposed
and I
to
said at
increase
that
it.
time, it would be nice to put that money in the bank, and that's not what was done with it, so there we go.
So when that was approved, when there was a different administration, that it should have been increasing every year. So we could pay that off quicker, I'm assuming. I don't know why.
No, there was no,
I gave you the
that-
paper that was approved for that.
this one,
So what was approved is the one that's starred right here. And every year it's supposed to increase for the base rate and then the per $1,000 use charge. Every year.
well, they've got the base rate here at $34, we put it at
No,
$26.
the second one that's
Yeah,
starred,
I understand what you're
That's
saying,
the
base
one.
rate, $9 per 1,000-gallon user.
that's the one that was approved, and this is what it should be at. And like I said, I'm assuming it was done this way so we can pay it off faster.
2025 till 2044 is 20 years.
Yes.
All that was for to do this, we can choose either to do that or to not do that. But the thing is this was all built in to spend, I don't know how much every year. I'd have to get the exact paperwork out and look how much was supposed to be spent every year at the sewer plant down there to make sure everything was up to date and ready to go. If I'm not mistaken, it was And that included the cost of, everything down there new over the period of the next 20 years. They were gonna redo everything. That also included the cost of a sludge truck. And they had it priced at 300 some odd thousand, and well, that's not what was spent.
I still think that we need to wait until we find out what the books look like. I can't justify spending that kind of money on a piece of equipment we do need, but not until we know.
Have you heard anything from Mark on the piece of equipment that he took down there to look at?
Yeah.
Does he have any idea when?
I haven't seen him since last week. Was this bill 1484 just for informational purposes? That's sitting in front of me?
The procurement,
Yes.
yes, that was the one that I was asked if I had it in writing, so I brought it to you in writing. I guess I'm gonna make a motion to deny the bids for now until the books are done.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Harry,
No,
Orchard,
No.
Wallander,
Yes.
McAdams,
Yes.
Mayor,
No, I believe that we need to take a serious look at this because every day, one department or the other of the city is making do and trying to use other equipment to get the job done. And they're doing the very best that they can, but we are not giving them what they need to work with. I understand that finances are crucial and we all want to do what's right to avoid going farther into debt. But we also have to give our employees what they need so that they can do their jobs to the very best of their ability.
And I agree, but I just don't understand what a couple of months to verify 100% we can afford it. We're this close, but that's you guys' call.
I just don't understand, like, you guys have been doing this for a little bit now, and nothing was ever said one time about us not having money. You guys can read the sheets just like I have, and nothing has ever been said.
Yes,
Till
Toby,
now.
there's a lot that's been said since we've been in here. Since the books has been messed up, yes, sir. We have went to many, many closed door meetings discussing our budget and our money. We have been out here to the public discussing our budget and money. So yes, sir, this has been going on ever since I've come into office.
And the books have been brought up
Over and over and over.
Like,
So-
there's only so much you can do when you only have so much information. And right now, the information is just, I don't feel like we can do it yet.
Terry,
They
how
need
far,
it, but-
how far back is the books
They need
needed?
it.
How far back did the books go?
June of 2022 is the last good books we have.
So for the last year and a half, yes, we have discussed it because that
That's
has
not
been
what I
our
was
number
told.
one problem.
That's not what I was told, numerous times. No, ma'am.
Tell it what?
Huh?
What,
That the
tell
books
what?
was up to date?
No, we have never had the books up to date. She has worked on
We had a whole 2-year administration that did not do anything, nothing, in putting any of this into the computer system, and that's what she's been working on. And then she has it done, and now we're working on the audits.
So you're telling me that you told me that we was up to date all the way to 22 is what you're saying?
No, I'm saying the books were done for 22, 23, is it 22, 23, and then she was sending them in for the audits.
The
That's where-
checkbooks
that's
are
where we
balanced
were
up
at.
to 24, but the general ledger does not balance to it. There's entries in there, we got money in for grants that Toby, there is no paperwork to tell me what grant we got it from.
Well, I just feel like instead of somebody telling me that the books was up to date until 2024, I should have been told that the books was up to date all the way up to 2022.
We told you the checkbooks are balanced. That is what is up to date.
and that's why we have the bank cash report, and that's why there is all messed up and showing that we have, a negative $3 million in one account and so forth, because it's not right. And it won't be right until everything is settled.
But we know that these daily cash reports are not correct because things have not been balanced since 2022.
Right.
And what I don't understand that is until we went to a meeting a couple months ago and pushed the issue, nothing has been done to get anyone in here to figure this out.
When did you ask for help?
Right before they went to the meeting, I started asking for help before
The training
Sherry
center?
left office.
Yes. Because she was getting to a point, and she even said it, that she is finding things that are wrong, that she cannot find. And this started prior to. And you can only do so much with G-Works apparently.
And still, when I came in the office in April, it took all the way till last month when I invited someone here to look at it and got lots of pushback for even asking that someone come and take a look at it.
Who pushed back?
I felt like, half of the board did.
If it's going to help, like, we had already talked to one individual, did we not?
I had not. I hadn't heard anything about that person until after I came back with information about the people that we hired.
I don't know.
there was a lady that had worked with our books prior, and we asked, and we brought that up several times before the meeting. Yes, ma'am.
And it's not something that we do. It's something that has to be asked and brought to us so we can approve it. It's not,
And
The
so,
lady that did it previous, just, must not have got it done to where it could be followed through every month and get it right. And I just sit here and look at these, right here, bank cash report, 2026. I'm sorry, but there's still the same numbers on here, an awful lot of that was on here 3 years ago.
no, cause if you look from January until now, it's
It's decreasing.
$400,000 difference.
It's decreasing because things are getting fixed as it goes.
A year ago, when I got here, that cash report was $6 million out of balance.
Okay. This page right here, let's go to page 1, right here, 2026, bank cash report. Cadet program, $3,820,000, hasn't changed a dollar in 3 years. And I know that because I brought that to the attention of the board 3 years ago. I said, what is going on here? And there, nobody could give me an answer. $4 million on the sewer, on the electric. Okay, these are absolutely deposits, $13 million. I don't know, how many months, how many years does this run?
I don't know, but it was also brought up they need to be zeroed out, and we cannot zero nothing out until they are correctly done. You have to have this done correctly.
And they don't come out of the line item just because you want it to. Those stay there because they've already been there.
But that's what I'm getting at, in 3 years' time,
no progress was made.
and I've asked and never come up with an answer.
In
Yeah.
3 years, you've had 3 different city clerks working on it. I've been here for 1 year.
And apparently, the person that was here before cost $30,000 and still did not correct the problem.
We weren't in office, I don't know. That's why we approved the current financial advisor to help us.
And I appreciate that. I think it's a great step in the right direction.
I still
But-
believe that we are not prepared for a skid steer. We need the equipment, we need lots of equipment, we need lots of new equipment. If they want to approve one, it's on them. I can't do it. I cannot justify it until we get everything caught up. I just,
Well, you guys pay for it.
Can I say something? I'd like to thank the two of you for not being willing to spend money that you don't have. And to the other 3 of you, I'd like to say, you ought to be ashamed of yourselves for even thinking about spending money that you don't know you have. So take that to the bank, but you really ought to be ashamed of yourselves for trying to spend taxpayers' money that you don't know you have.
So when you go to buy a house, and you go and get it at the bank, and you get a loan for
Yeah,
5%,
and you
you're
don't know
spending
you
money
can
that you
get it
that's
don't
our
even
money,
have.
not
Okay.
everybody.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
Enough, we're not going there, but
Okay, sorry.
But I've said what I've
I
said.
said we're not going there tonight. Thank you.
I already did.
So the difference with this and the difference with an individual doing something is it's projected. Everything is projected. Revenue is projected on taxes that we are hopefully going to receive. I don't know about you, I don't know about everybody out here, but I know that a bunch of people are struggling. They're not buying things that they did before. They're not spending money like they did before. We're not going to get near as many taxes, I believe, out of it that we are expecting.
And it's gonna take one disaster like our grid going down, or the wastewater plant having a major thing. Where are we gonna come up with the money for that one? Our power grid back there behind Fab, if y'all have not noticed, is pretty outdated. In fact, I got an alert on my phone today that we are at peak. Well, guess what that's gonna cost? And guess who consumes that?
Thank you.
The taxpayer. Last time we consumed it, that's where that 200,000 went. We took it so they wouldn't have to.
And we might find out that was a bad decision, and that's on us.
But I will take it because it kept their light bills from going up. So I will take that gladly.
Yep.
But with us going through peak right now, what happens if our grid goes down? What does a grid cost? Does anybody know what a grid costs? We don't have it. We do not have it. I mean, I would love to say, we've got this amount of money, let's just start and just build it up and do it. We don't have it, and we don't know what we've got till then.
Ms. Karen, can I say something?
Yes.
I can see it from both sides. I don't know if anybody's aware, but I'm a statistics, numbers kind of guy. We are considered one of the poorest towns in the state of Missouri. Per capita. It's sad, it's depressing. But we also need things done in our city, in our town. I come from a very poor community in southwest Louisiana on the bayou. And I was always taught, sometimes you have to spend money to make money. I've seen my utility bill increase since I moved here 6 years ago. I've seen trash and water go up. I've seen things go up. You go to Walmart now, it's 2 bags is $100, it feels like. I never thought it would be a day where I'd have to debate whether I could afford a gallon of gas or a gallon of milk. The time is upon us. You got towns now, they're losing their departments, their police departments in the city. The sheriff's department has to take over. We're very close to a disaster happening in our town and all these things, but we can't live in fear. You cannot live in fear. Our roads are horrible. I've been to Daniel's Tire 6 times to get my tires repaired because of the condition of the roads. I've never seen so much division over a piece of equipment. We have to make sure the people that are busting their tails in this heat, in this weather, our servants or our civil servants who are doing a great job, we can't throw it all on them. We have to give them what they need to succeed. Because if not, in 15 to 20 years, we're not gonna have much of a town left. We need businesses. We need money pumping into this town. We need industry. We need to pull together. And we need to make this happen. Whatever we got to do, we got to do it. But we do need equipment. We do need to be smart with our money. We need to make sure we have the money. But if the numbers are this jacked up, what's 2 more months gonna do? Are we basing the projections off of bad numbers? Or are the numbers gonna get that much better in 2 months? Or are we gonna be sitting here in 2 months talking about give it 2 more months for the numbers to get better? If the money hasn't changed in 3 years, like the man said, is it gonna be better in 2 months? We can't continue to live in fear. We have to do what's best for the town. Nobody's a fortune teller. But we also can't depend everything on the taxpayers. We're one of the poorest towns in this state. I'm on a fixed income. I'm 45 years old. My income is not gonna increase for the rest of my life. I'm a retired veteran. But I know we need things. We got to pull together.
We are not oblivious to the situation that our town is in. Since I came into office, you've all seen things being put out for bids, which had not happened before.
Never.
We're trying to stretch every dollar that we got as far as we can stretch it. I reached out to the Howe County Road Commission, and July the 3rd, they actually came into the city limits of Mountain View and did work for us that we could not do because we do not have the equipment to do it with. We needed electric poles. The price for electric poles that the city was paying was $573 a pole. I reached out to Hal Oregon, and we bought poles for $250 some per pole, less than what we were getting from our supplier. And when I asked why, it was because nobody bothered to ask.
So thanks for doing that.
I am reaching out and trying to save every dollar and stretch every dollar as far as we possibly can stretch it. But there comes a point that we have to take a chance and get them what they need so that we can get these things fixed. We have crews out there working together for the first time in years, and we're actually seeing some things done. And that is not because things were let go. They've told me they had no direction. Nobody was telling them or backing them. They were just trying to figure it out themselves. I have been in the wastewater plant. I have been under the sanitation truck. I have been in every department in this town looking at the financial picture and asking, what can I do to help you? I cannot be an advocate for our employees if I don't know what they're doing or what they need. Every department that I've talked to depends on that skid steer. Every implement we use fit on that skid steer. So we're using equipment to do things that equipment was not initially purchased for. I mean, we risk tearing up what we've got, trying to make do and avoid purchasing a $67,000 skid steer that burned up a week before we took office. And it's very hard when I look back and things have been looked at and looked at and looked at, and nothing, we're not making any progress. We're just going in circles. And I hear what people are saying. And I've had some really harsh words said to me about things that have been done. I'm just trying to make some forward progress. These guys are saving every dime that they can save. They are making do with what they've got, and we need to give them some help. That's all I'm asking.
We've all put in our thoughts on all of this. When we started this, and Mr. Perry can agree, we brought in pages after pages of printouts for pavers, dump trucks, equipment, all kinds of stuff. There should be a folder somewhere back there that's got all that stuff that was saved. So we made an effort. We made an effort to bring it. Did we not, Mr. Perry?
To do what? Make an equipment list?
Equipment.
Is that what you're
Equipment,
saying?
yes. Did I not bring in printed pictures of pavers, dump trucks? I brought one into a meeting, in fact, right after you come into office, of dump trucks. So it's not that we haven't made the effort. It's just the problem is the finances. As far as the efforts is there. Every one of us has made an effort to see that these guys get stuff. We have brought in information that we didn't have to. We brought in information on used fixtures. We've done everything we could. The only thing there is the finances. That is what's blocking us right now. And I just feel that I just want to make sure we have the money before we make that leap. Once we know, buy it. Buy this one for $100,000. I don't care. I want them to have equipment. But we have got to make sure our finances and our books are done. Because that would be a shame that we finance something and then come to find out we are in bad condition, worse than what we thought. And you can't just take somebody's checkbook and start writing checks until you know what's in there.
I understand
We
that
wouldn't have done
you
all the
guys-
research as much as we did.
I understand you guys have researched, and what I have found is that it's gone into a file, and that's where it still stays.
When it leaves
It's-
us, it goes in there
It's
and
not moved forward, and I cannot move if you guys won't agree to move forward.
And when we bring it back up, it doesn't get pushed out. We have brought things up over and over and over. I come in with a list every closed door meeting saying, hey, we need to go back and do this. We need to go finish this. We need to tie up loose ends. Is that not correct? I do that all the time. And we need to fill up these loose ends. We've all done it. We've all had to go back and fix what was never finished. And you can't move forward until you tie up all loose ends and fix everything so you can go forward, because that's where things get jumbled. That's where things get pushed and hidden and thrown away, just like the file folder. It all gets pushed away if you don't start getting things done and taking the steps to get them done.
I'd like to make a motion here. I'd like to make a motion to accept the bid for the compact loader TL8R2 from Dr. Ritchie.
I'll second that.
Which number?
Number 8.
Number 8?
Number 8. Any further discussion, question?
I would just add that that's quite a bit smaller machine than what the bid was asking for and what I bid.
It meets all the specs that we sent in.
It's a couple thousand pounds lighter machine. It's one size smaller than 325.
Could you speak up, please? I can't.
I'm sorry, the Takaguchi TLA would be comparable to our 317. So the Takaguchi machine, that would be a comparable size machine to what I bid would be a TL10. Just for the record.
Would it be big enough for a brush hog?
They make brush hogs to go on all size machines.
No, for the one we already have.
We already have $100,000 worth of implements, but we
Yep.
have nothing to use it for.
Well, and part of the bid was for a high flow machine. So I'm sure that's probably in part because of wanting to have enough flow to run some of those attachments. I would, not trying to muddy the waters, but just want things to be apples to apples.
So the bid would have been different?
Yeah, it would have.
Comparable machine is what you're saying?
I would bid a smaller machine against the Takaguchi TL to, be comparable in most specs, but. To answer your question, skid steers all have kind of a universal adapter now. So that machine no doubt will couple on and, but, is it optimal for each individual attachment? That's a hard question to answer without knowing the specs of every single attachment that you already own. But just, a lot of people think about equipment in terms of size, right? A TL8 weighs about 8,600 pounds. 325 weighs about 10.5. So it's a couple thousand pound heavier machine.
How much did you say? What did you say that? You said that again?
A 325 weight is roughly 10.5 with a bucket on and the way bid, with the wide tracks and so forth, cab machine.
Need to do a vote. Need to vote.
We have a second.
I did, I seconded
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry, I did not hear that. Roll call vote.
Harry,
Aye.
Orchard,
Aye.
Wallander,
No,
McAdams,
no.
Mayor.
Because I see that our employees have got to have something to work with, I'm going to put my neck out, and I'm going to vote yes. Moving on to the fuel bids. One of the other things that I discovered in trying to save money is that our fuel has not been put out for bids in many, many years. So we put together a bid packet, and we received bids from the Anchor and from Scrivener. We opened those this morning at 2:30, and Terry has put together a bid sheet and a packet of those bids.
Information that you all need is at the present time, we do buy fuel from both of these places. We have accounts at both of them, so tonight if you decide one or the other or both.
We can't approve both.
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve both.
What percentage? So if you want to make a motion to approve both of them, what percentage?
Both bids.
Those bids, okay, I understand that, but at what percentage do we buy from Shriver, and what percentage do we
Anchor
buy from the
is
Anchor?
5 cents discounted, and Signal is 15 cents above cost for unleaded and diesel, and $2 discount on that.
Which, with the 15 cents
I think you
above
was meaning about
markup.
departments, percentage of employees, is that what you said?
The Scrivener bid is 15 cents above their markup, which based on the pricing on the day of the bid is a much larger discount than the 5 cents from the other store.
Well, I'll second it because I think we need to try to keep local business and other businesses used together.
Where's the sheet that shows how much fuel was?
I got it right here. Very nice.
Did you have this in your packet?
That would be the
This right here.
fuel pricing.
Fuel pricing,
It was here.
yes,
Yeah.
Yes.
fuel pricing difference was 47.3 cents per gallon less at Signal than at the Anchor. That's a pretty significant amount. I understand the need, the concern about wanting to support local. But there is a very big difference in the bid.
Karen, can I say
Yes,
something? When the Anchor annexed in,
I can't hardly hear you.
when the Anchor annexed in,
Mhm.
it was kind of an agreement with them that part of the city employees would buy fuel from them. That's how they got them to annex in, come into the city.
I believe that that is not and a legal way to do business. That's why we asked them to all bid.
Okay, I was just telling you what happened back then.
We had that conversation also. I'm not opposed to not doing business with one or the other, and do business with one, because both places, generate a lot of sales tax for this town. But I'm trying to stretch these dollars as far as they can stretch.
Everybody makes a second to Gail, you
Yes.
did, right?
Yes.
I did.
Motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Harry,
I'll say yes.
Orchard,
Well, I've said this from the very beginning, that I would not lie to people, and I sit down there in the town hall meeting and told Ricky Renner that if we had the option to stay local, if we can spend the money there, we would, and I said yes, so I'm saying no.
Wallander,
Say no.
Huh?
We're doing both, approving both.
Right, and I feel like that we,
Gotcha. Yes.
McAdams,
Yes.
3 yes, 1 no.
Moving on to new business. One of the things that I asked when I came into office was, did we have backup for our computers? And we did not. So, I began a search to try to find technology in our area so that we could remedy that omission, because it's important that we are able to back up our computers. So we've had 2 companies that came in and looked our situation over and presented us with proposals. First one is ComSec. And they came tonight to give us a presentation, and then we will move on to the other presentation. You guys would like to come in?
Good evening. So my name's Dave. I'm the Chief Operations Officer for ComSec, as well as Jason, our CEO. So we came out, we took a look at your infrastructure, but a little bit just kind of, because we want you to know who we are, not just what we offer. So I'll kind of breeze through this pretty quick just to kind of give you an overview of our company. So we opened our company with the idea to provide big city solutions at small town value. IT's been a struggle in Howe County for a long time. You get people that come in that know how to do it, and then they leave because they quickly find there's no money here. And we've tried to remedy that by providing a big city IT solutions while keeping true to the small town value that you're our neighbors. So our vision, our mission, I'm not gonna read this verbatim, our vision and mission is to be your neighbor, to provide you with the solutions you need so that you can take care of your community and focus on what matters and not worry about the IT infrastructure behind you. So why local matters? If you're not aware, Howe County recently put out a bid for the entire county to have a unified IT system at the county level. They elected to go with a IT provider out of Joplin. The only person inside of the county that refused that was the sheriff's department, because they can't have a 3.5 hour response time to their sheriff's department. Same rings true for your city. If a piece of your technology goes down, you don't want to be waiting for someone from Springfield, St. Louis, Joplin, or much worse, Kansas City to get here to resolve your problems. We're local. We're in West Plains. I live 25 minutes. I'm probably your first line responder should something go wrong. I can be here on the drop of a hat. We offer managed IT services, cybersecurity, cloud services, the whole list that you see there, all the things we cover. Digital presence from your network all the way to your endpoint. The thing that we wanted to bring out, especially talking about your backups, is your cybersecurity and why it matters. We're currently working with another client who had a ransomware attack. Somebody went into their computer, put a BitLocker key on it, locked the city government out of their data, out of their files. They still don't have access. They are waiting on a warrant served on Microsoft in Seattle for them to respond, for us to help them. Our services prevent that. We offer endpoint protection, multi-factor authentication and network security, device monitoring, continuous backups, and threat detection. I'm gonna see a problem before you know it exists. So instead of fixing problems when they occur, that's when we talk about, I'm gonna see it before it happens. I'm monitoring those hard drives. I'm monitoring your computer systems. I'm actively looking at this every day in communication with your city officials so that we can provide you the services you need to make sure that your systems stay up and operational when you need them. And what we did with your bid specifically, I'm gonna pause for a second, is we didn't just look at city council. We looked at your police department. We looked at your library. We looked at it comprehensively. And so all the bids you see from us encompass all those departments, so it could be split up amongst the budget, amongst those departments proportionally to how much they're using our services. Go ahead to our next. So the benefits, if we improve your cybersecurity presence, you're not exposed to the ransomware threat. We're gonna reduce your downtime. If you aren't having a computer outage, you're gonna be able to work faster. We're gonna simplify your technology. Just in our simple walkthrough of the buildings, we saw systems that don't talk, equipment that's outdated, and some equipment that's banned at the federal government level being operated inside the city. We want to make sure that you're safe and protected. Go ahead. So we have, this is just two of the people, companies we've partnered with to help them improve their experience. I provided that to the city clerk that she can share with you in more detail. But every place we've gone into, we've had 5-star reviews. We've improved their infrastructure, made it more secure for them, and helped them along the way. Go ahead. Our promise to you, should you decide to go forward, is that we'll be reliable, we'll be secure, and you'll be successful. Because we're gonna provide you the tools you need to make that happen. Our next steps, we would want to continue to review your current IT infrastructure by installing, should you move forward, we want to install software so that we can see what's really happening behind the scenes. We looked at the exterior of your systems, but we haven't seen what's going on in the system, so we just don't know. We need to identify your risks outside of just the physical, discuss your future goals, and build the plan that supports your city, not just today, but for in the future. So about our bids, you have several of them in front of you, and I want to take a moment just kind of explain some of those, because I understand that some of them are very large and some are not. So one of the things we discussed in our meeting was kind of your web hosting, your phone services, and then 3 different levels of our services. So we offer 3 tiers of our remote management and kind of ComSec services. ComSec Basic is kind of that entry level where we recommend most places start. We monitor your systems, we make sure they stay online, and if you call us or we need to come on site, we bill you for our time according to our bids. The middle tier, that ComSec Professional, then same thing as Basic, except we're not billing you for your phone calls. We're only billing you when we're here on site working. And then we have the ComSec Enterprise. This is kind of the all-encompassing IT level. We are then at that point your full-service IT provider. You get one bill from us, you never see another one unless it's a project. For example, you need us to run new internet lines and connect different buildings together. That's a project, we bill you for the project and that. But as far as the routine maintenance, you have something break, you need something repaired, you never see another bill from us outside of that monthly recurring. One thing those bids don't also lay out is that if you pay annually, we do offer a discount to the city governments on top of the discounts that you see listed there of an additional 10%. If you have any questions, Jason and I are happy to answer for you about our process, about our procedures.
Have you ever done any work with G-Works?
Yeah.
Something else he didn't touch on is he's also talking about doing our phone system. Brennan's gonna get us a more precise, I found the Brennan bill and sent him a copy so he knows exactly how many lines we have. Our website, we are supposed to pay our yearly due to them in September, $3,200. He's gonna charge us $50 a month to host that website.
In addition to
So
the.
that'll be
Would it
much
work
cheaper.
for you, for the police department?
I believe so. You are contracted with the sheriff's office.
We are,
Yeah.
yes.
So to show.
So you said, Terry, that the website would be cheaper going
Yes.
through them?
Yes, $50 a month versus $3,200 a year. And you said for the website, you would import and make it functional, so that includes like the design.
Jason's our
kind of
web
thing.
guy, I'll let him answer those questions.
Yeah, I'll do a full import and rebuild the back end, make it simpler for you guys.
Simple is good.
Yes, because we've found problems with the other that can't seem to fix.
Hey, you guys are here. I'm really not sure.
We try.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I know it seems like a lot of money, but Karen and I agree on if that server goes down, we are so in trouble. And that's been my fear since the day I found out we didn't have backup on it.
Is there anyone here from United?
Yes,
Unified system?
Unify.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That's why you looked so
I
familiar.
know.
I'm sorry.
Good to
Would
see
you
you.
like, are you guys ready to hear his, would you like to come?
I didn't have a spiel. Sure, I can tell you a little bit about it.
Okay. It's been a long week, I'm sorry.
You can tell. So I'm John from Unified Systems. We're a managed service provider in West Plains as well. Pretty much, I mean, you know, they do what we do, and we do what they do. So we don't, our kind of model is different. So we have a flat price. We don't ever charge for tech support. We don't ever charge for calls. We dispatch same day. We have 5 employees, W-2 employees, 40 probably. Think about it, we're insured, and we're family. We treat everybody real good. We have a big customer base, and we try to treat everybody like friends, you know. It's important that you have somebody to talk to when you have problems and issues and things like that. So yeah, we do kind of the same service, and it'll be outlined in there. Yeah, I wasn't planning on making a presentation, so I'm not prepared, and you know, you can look over what we did. But I wish you guys luck in your choice, and I appreciate you taking the time to review. So, thank you guys.
Anybody have questions for me? I just wanted to give them a chance to
Yeah,
ask
no,
you questions.
fire away.
Have you done work with G-Works?
With who?
G-Works,
G-Works.
that's the software we
The
use.
software we
for-
use for utility billing, financials.
Yeah, we talked about that. No, the cities, we do City of Brandon and we do Carter County right now, and none of them use that package, so we haven't covered it yet.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Thanks, guys.
On the mobile device management, is that internet for,
It's just monitoring and maintaining the MDT units that are inside the police vehicles and the ones they use on a daily basis.
and who does that now? Is that some,
Who does the monitoring? So all of our secure traffic is routed through Highway Patrol,
Check
firewalls and, CGIS in Jefferson City who does the monitoring.
So that MDM for that, that's outside of that secure traffic, that's ensuring the physical device stays secure. And it's treated like another computer, on the network. So all the traffic is going through secure channels, yes. We're securing the machine itself.
Is that something, Stetson, we're gonna have to get clearance through with the highway patrol, or is it something that's just?
They'd probably just wanna know what software is floating on the computers, but, I mean, if they're doing work with, Howe County, they run very similar setups to what we do.
so this has how many terabytes for the MVPD, but
So both of them, we looked at the server size and how much storage you had on there. And so for both servers, we're quoting you for 3 terabytes per server of backup space. But if you're not backing up that, so it's $40 per additional terabyte. So your first terabyte is included, and you'll see that line item there for 2 additional. If you only use one of those, we're only billing you for one of those. We're just estimating that you'll need more. So that's why that's there.
My question would be for Stetson. Your budget, $545 a month, is what they have down here. That would increase your budget $545 a month for
I mean,
mobile devices as well as your remote
I
monitoring.
won't have it in the mobile device line item, but I should be able to cover the rest of this year and a couple other line items that I don't believe will max out on. But the line item as it stands right now, it would need definitely an amendment to reflect it for the rest of this year. And then next year, of course, will just be a big budget, we can factor all of that in. Like, Calvin, like, give you maybe a more peace of mind. I kind of project, like, out of our, wages, I figure I'll have, probably 8,000 remaining in wages, due to not depleting all of the reserve money. So, I mean, I'll have some budget money.
and now is this something that you've talked to all the departments that it's gonna cover?
We talked to the library.
I need to talk to the library because I think she has some grants and that Friends of the Library, I think they pay for some of this.
Where Their internet is done through the state of Missouri, so I don't know.
Yeah, so all of their devices, so we gave you, credit for those devices, but their devices are actually provided by, a Missouri Library Association and covered by them. So we're giving you the benefit of those devices being in the network, but and discounts based on those, but we're not covering those because we can't. They don't allow us to. So really where the library ties in is if we went with phone service or interlinking the, networks between, City Hall, the police department, and the library, to where they all talk easier. That's where the library really ties in. None of their devices are included in this because we can't, and no one can. They are covered by a separate entity that is managed by the MoNet is the name of it, that manages those. So we're taking their devices into account and not billing you for them, but then, and kind of leveling it out that way, if that makes sense.
Have you figured out how much would go towards the city hall? Like, have you divvied it up?
No, I haven't. We just started the last few days looking at this, so if you want more information, I can bring that to you in August.
Mayor, I had a quick question, if you don't mind, with the guys, for like our current, servers, or like, our on-site servers, does that include monitoring of them, or
Yes.
like your own branded servers, or however?
It's monitoring your current server.
Monitoring what you have, yes.
And we'll get you all our, we'll get you all our CJIS certificates.
Nice.
And we have had 3 in the year I've been here, we've had 3 workstations that we come in the morning and they're just dead. These guys would have been awesome, because that was like just scrambling, trying to find something.
We presently have no IT person locally. And no backup, even though we tried to figure it out on our own.
Yeah.
Not
I have
successful.
25 years in IT, but my experience is 10 years old. I haven't been in that purview for 10 years, so things change. These guys, there's a lot that changes in that.
Technology changes about every 6 months anyway, so,
Oh, a lot faster than that.
yeah, but it does now.
AI's got us running for, a bunch of stuff. It's good and it's bad, so.
So I think we need a little more information on how it's gonna be divvied up, maybe between departments, if we can postpone it until August meeting.
Yeah, they're gonna give me a better
Unless you know,
bid on the
a
phones.
little over a
Phones as well.
week and a half away, so, I mean, would that give you guys time, a week and a half? Almost 2 weeks?
Yeah.
So I make a motion to postpone. Till August.
We're just homesick.
Yeah, we need to get it from both. I will second that, to get it from both.
Roll call.
I'd like to ask a question.
Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead and ask the question.
We don't work with this every day, Terry, you do, what is your?
I think them being all-inclusive of all of our systems, bringing the phone, the web, the internet, all of it together is beneficial. Because right now, if we call the phone company and say, hey, our phones don't work, they say, well, how's your internet look? Because they can't see it. Or how's your computer, is it hooked, these guys should be able to look, either company should be able to look and see what's actually the problem.
Mayor, what do you think?
I think that we need backup, and when we had them come in, they were able to answer all of our questions. We had some equipment that there are some real issues with that we need to, take a look at. We learned things that we were not aware of that, were kind of scary, big time scary. And I felt like they gave us good information. I think tying the whole system and the website and everything together actually saves us money in some areas and will make it a lot more beneficial. We would have somebody the package that they have, they can tell that we're gonna have a problem before we really have a problem. And, instead of us coming in and having computers down and not know which direction to go, we will get a heads up that we've got a problem before it happens.
We've tried twice to solve the backup on our own. The first one was Evan started a internet backup that I didn't understand when he left. I didn't know what to do with it. I couldn't figure it out. I was finally able to shut it off so we aren't being charged for it. But it didn't make a lot of sense to me. It was a Microsoft product. I thought it was hard to use. I tried ordering some small drives to plug in to back up and, put one in the vault and one on the server and flog them back and forth. Couldn't get them to format. Evidently they're junk. Amazon gave me no trouble giving me my money back. So that's why when
I
they
guess
said
what
they
I'm-
could do it, great.
I guess what I'm actually asking, I mean, like I said, we're not using the mayor and the city is using it. So we wanna wait for more information, is that what we want to do? That's what we have a motion on, and I'm just asking, I guess I would ask Terry that. The city clerk, do you want to, what is your opinion on it?
I have a question for Gail. I wanted to understand what additional information you wanted. So I wanted to know how much the city's gonna, we're gonna pay, the police department's gonna pay.
Yes, and we need to make sure that we're able to take it out of everybody's budget, because if it's a monthly payment, that's gonna add quite a bit to each department's monthly payment.
Yeah.
So I would like to
Make sure the budget
separate it, and
allows.
I'm gonna be able to do those as well.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to look at the budget before you decide. I believe they're gonna save us enough money on the web hosting to help pay for some of the other things. But they give me the rest of the quotes, and then I'll work it up with
Well,
both
if they get you the
companies.
quote and you can get us the budget broke down,
Right,
that would make a big
yeah,
difference.
so you'll know exactly which department's
Where we
gonna pay for
stand.
what.
Right.
Yeah, and we do have, when they were here the other day, we talked library, police, and city hall. We have like one computer out at the shop and 3 internet connections, but I don't think we're gonna do the internet connections. You're not doing internet service, no. Yeah, so we have like a machine here and there, little ones.
And we're having a lot of trouble with the one at the shop. The guys are having trouble clocking in, clocking out, putting all their information in.
Yeah, sanitation and wastewater both have a computer that's pretty important that they run, so.
And right now, we call each other back and forth on the phone because we can't talk.
Yeah, if we were a network where we shared, like school districts do that. You can talk back and forth or share the server. You know, Zach right now is a standalone island and he has, out of sanitation, they have things they keep on their computer. If his computer dies, he just loses those records for the recycle and all that. So it'd be nice if he could hit our server and back up. Yeah, I'm sure Johnny has stuff out there that's important. Perry,
Aye.
Orchard,
Aye.
Wallander, McAdams,
Aye.
Next item on our agenda is our CBDG grant. We have our preliminary, okay. We have our ordinance for amending our employee handbook.
and I gave you all a new copy when I made all the changes that we talked about on the handbook.
Thank you.
Bill number 1500, ordinance number 1813. An ordinance amending chapter 23 personnel of the city code of ordinances for the city of Mountain View, Missouri.
And any of the ones that we had talked about.
Yeah, the changes are all highlighted in there, so if you want to look at any.
I'll make a motion to approve.
We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Do we have any further discussion? Roll call vote.
Perry,
Aye.
Orchard,
Aye.
Wallander,
Aye.
McAdams.
Aye.
Second reading, bill number 1500, ordinance 1813, an ordinance amending chapter 23 personnel of the city code of ordinances for the city of Mountain View, Missouri.
I'll make a motion to approve the second reading.
I'll second it.
Discussion. Roll call vote.
Perry,
Aye.
Orchard,
Aye.
Wallander,
Aye.
McAdams.
Aye.
Now we will move on to the CB.
Karen.
Need a restroom break?
Yes.
Okay, we've been requested that we take a short restroom break.
one phone but not the other, that was actually mobile, you know, that.
I don't know what mine had a little satellite. No, this is, first it says, can't be hooked to the internet, well, it can't be hooked to the internet, it goes down. And it's on, so everybody said, I've been caught. Dang.
I'm gonna put together a report of how much we pay now and how much it's gonna save us,
I
how
can-
much the. For all this This part of it. There's only, yeah, just a presentation of it. I'm trying to get the services I got.
Okay, come back in, if you can try roll call, please.
Perry,
Aye.
Orchard,
Aye.
Wallander, McAdams.
Aye.
Okay, now, moving on to the CDBG grant. This is the draft. This is due July 31st for submission. So, we've been working very diligently to get this put together.
This is for the street.
This is for our streets, yes. This is the one that we had the donation made for the match.
Use the microphone, please. That's clear.
You gotta almost have your thing touching you.
Okay. This is the grant that we had applied for streets. And, we also received 96,400 and some change in a donation from an anonymous source with the designation that it be used in a certain portion of town, which is reflected in the list of streets. That portion of town was Country Meadows. If any of you have driven the streets, they are little more than gravel. Every street in Mountain View needs help. The ones that are listed on the project draft are on page 6. The amount of the construction costs were $596,400. Then with the additional costs, it was a total projected cost of $730,351. And the matching cash contribution brought the cost to $633,951. It's estimated that there will be little or no maintenance for the proposed streets for the first 10 years, so that we can concentrate on other streets.
So the amount that they're estimating for that for somebody doing it,
Yes. We will not be doing these streets ourselves, it will be done by the grant. to update you on where we are.
I thought we had to,
Is there proof?
I thought we had to.
No, they said it's just information.
This is for information, it's our draft.
Yeah, that's,
It's all engineer stuff, we don't understand.
Yes.
I wish we could be next week.
Yes, me too. Anybody have any further questions about this?
Over there, 'cause I know it does flood a lot over there for Sarah Street and Woodruff.
Yes.
Things. Are they going, what are they going, their plans to, are they gonna do like 10 horns, or are they going to, because there's a creek that runs behind there, right?
Is it?
Well, it makes a creek when it
Right.
rains a lot.
One of the things that, in looking at this, we discovered that problem didn't exist to the extent that it does now until 2017. And what they discovered that is in 2017, there was a sinkhole south of town that caved in, and now that water that did go in that sinkhole is backing up in that area. That's not something that we can change, but there were some situations that were identified up on WW Highway. There are some drainage issues from the highway that is dumping even more water back into the subdivision. We have approached MoDOT with that. And also a situation over on Ash Street that they are aware of, and MoDOT will be addressing those two areas, which is completely separate from our grant, but should greatly enhance the drainage. Our crews have been working in a couple other areas in town that we've had flooding issues. One is at Douglas and Elm Street. We've cleared out a area to the west of Elm Street and discovered that there were 3 drainage culverts that drained into one, and it was plugged. They have gone in and cleared out a bunch of brush and stuff out of that, and they are digging that out this week. And also down in Southern Hills at Matthews, there where our electric substation is, there was some clogged drains there and a lot of brush and stuff down obstructing it. So if you guys happen to drive down through there, you'll see they've done a lot of work on that also.
Right.
And W&A, so.
What I'm talking about is on page 33, down there on Woodruff, where Woodruff and Sarah,
Right,
down there below, the chiropractor's house, that, the asphalt's all gone.
right.
That
It's-
keeps it beat up all the
It's
time.
totally,
Are they gonna think about something like they did on Buddy Lane, or?
at this point, they don't know for sure what they're going to look at. This area right here on page 34, Westwood Street,
Yeah.
there's also,
They have
a
this,
drain that comes down through here. And, we're looking at that next week, because you can see where it's washed out quite a bit. And there's a lot of brush and stuff down in that little triangle that we're trying to determine who owns that little triangle so that we can get that cleaned out. Because this house over here is virtually an island every time we have a big, not even a big rain. So, but as you can see from the pictures in that subdivision, the streets are destroyed.
It's bad, very bad.
And drainage is one of the things that they will be looking at to try to figure out some solutions.
Yeah, there should be a folder too with all their letters that they turned in for their streets being in that condition. Hopefully we can get it fixed for them.
Hopefully. So then that leads us to the tax levy that we added to our agenda. There have to be 2 public meetings if we're looking at the possibility of adding that tax map. There have to be 2 meetings prior to the meeting where we set the tax levy. So we need to pick those dates. It has to be done by September 1st. So that moves us right into August rather quickly. Terry and I were talking about that earlier today, about if there was a tax levy set, it would be very minimal income from that. We actually get more taxes the way that we are structured now. But this is an even numbered year, and in even numbered years, we are supposed to take a look at this and decide what we wanted to do. So that is where we are with this.
I would say that the first one can be brought up on the 11th.
Yeah, we can have it the 11th, then they have another meeting after. Okay. And you want it at 5:30 or 5 o'clock on the 11th? Typically, we have that before the regular council meeting.
Tuesday, that's a regular schedule.
I'm good for 5:30.
5:30 work for you guys?
Yeah.
5:30 prior to our meeting.
I have to have that published in the newspaper at least 7 days prior. Since I'm going on vacation, it will be more than 7 days prior, but I'll get it in there.
And then do we need to set the next one now or do it to get it published in time?
The next Tuesday would be the 25th.
Probably be a good idea to get it set now, so I can publish both of them.
And you said it had to be when after the first one? Is there
It could be any time after the first one, you just have to have 2 public hearings. We could do the next Tuesday, the 18th.
So what about doing it on the 7th, and we can go over applications?
I will be out of town on the 7th, but you all are welcome to do it.
Is that too close together? 7th
No.
and 11th?
11 and 14?
Yeah, I can just have them published and ready, and you guys can have the meeting.
We can do the 11th and the 14th,
I'll let you guys down there.
and then do, applications, unless we can do that beforehand,
Applications for which position?
city administrator. Cause that's been posted for what, 3 weeks now, unless we can do it this Friday. Just for the city administrator applications.
I can't be here this Friday. I postponed the doctor's appointment 3 times now, so I'm getting frowned at by my doctor. And then the tax levy will be after that, so
So we got the 11th and what else?
14.
Okay.
And then the tax.
Both of them at 5:30 or?
I say the 14th earlier, cause if we're just going over it, just to have a meeting.
I think the 14th, I'm gonna check with the Howe County, but I think the 14th, you're gonna have to have a public hearing and then an actual council meeting to approve the tax.
Is that what we're proposing, is to do a tax? Is that what we are proposing?
Is that what you all want?
I thought that's what we were discussing in the meeting. I don't. So that if we need to go over.
So if we're not wanting to do it, we don't have to do one meeting and then do the tax thing. So if we don't want to do that, we can just do the meeting on the 11th, then set the tax thing on the 14th, and
You can only bring the tax back on an even numbered year.
Right.
It would be out of the $3 million in property, there's $50,000 in taxes to be collected, because it's gonna go back to where it was. So if you're not willing to bring it back or don't want to bring it back, we do one meeting, we keep it at 0, we're done. If you wanna discuss the possibility, we need 2 meetings.
I say no.
I don't get to vote, but I don't think we
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
No,
Okay.
it was done away with for the
for a reason.
1 cent sales tax or 1.5 cent sales tax years ago.
All right, so we just need to do the August,
So the August 11th, we will have a 5:30 public hearing, and I will publicize this year there's gonna be 0, and then you will pass that at the August meeting on the 14th. Do you wanna do the city administrator application still?
Yes,
And that's when we actually set the tax.
No,
No,
we'll actually set the tax on the 11th
On the
meeting.
11th.
We can do it all at one meeting if they're not gonna entertain the idea of bringing it back.
Friday. Since you're busy this Friday, what about the 7th to go over applications? You said you were gonna.
I won't be here, I'll be on vacation, but I have them and I can give them to Karen, and she can bring them.
you wanna do it the 7th or you wanna do it the 14th?
7th.
I will publicize the 7th meeting, it will be early publication, but I'll put it out there.
Okay.
As long as
Okay,
it's posted.
Is this for the city administrator position, right?
The
Yes,
application.
That's gotta be a closed session.
yes,
We
but it
can't do
has
that.
to be publicized.
Okay, okay.
1,
Yeah, just closed session.
on the 7th.
1 o'clock,
is that 1 Saturday?
at 1 o'clock. What did you say?
1 p.m. Okay.
7th.
And what time? 1 o'clock?
Jensen.
Oh, okay.
I'm okay with 1.
Yeah, yeah. We got them down there. Is that okay with you guys?
Yep.
So that concludes our new business. And it brings us to closed session.
I'll make a motion to go into closed session.
I'll second it.
With a 5-minute break.
Take a 5-minute break. And roll call vote.
Perry,
Aye.
Orchard, Wallander,
Aye.
McAdams.
Aye.
And it is 7:53.
And I'm sorry that I did not recognize all the visitors tonight. We got from the Hull Counties and Dead Fox. And then we have several visitors, and we appreciate you coming. We're gonna take a 5-minute break, go into closed session, and then we will be back.
And Anna, I may lose you on our way to the closed session.
Yeah,
Oh.
he's very straight shooting.
It doesn't matter.
You need to take the way to get it.
Yeah, we have.
I'm